Let's discuss using a ground fault interrupter, 20 amps, 2-pole circuit breaker for fish tank warmers at an aquaculture pavilion. The question is whether a ground fault interrupter 20 amps 2-pole circuit breaker can effectively protect a multi-branch circuit sharing a neutral and terminating at the same receptacle as opposed to a dedicated 220 volts load. The answer is yes. A ground fault interrupter 20 amps 2-pole circuit breaker can be used to protect a multi-branch circuit sharing a neutral terminating on the same receptacle for tank warmers exposed to the element. Let's consider the benefits of using a ground fault interrupter 20 amps 2-pole circuit breaker. 1. Ground fault protection. The ground fault interrupter circuit breaker provides ground fault protection for the entire multi-branch circuit, ensuring safety for personnel working or handling the equipment. 2. Convenience. A single circuit breaker can protect multiple tank warmers, reducing the number of circuits and breakers needed. Now let's consider some important points. 1. Neutral termination. Ensure that the neutral wire for all branch circuits is properly terminated on the same receptacle. Do not connect the neutral wires of different circuits to separate terminals. 2. Amperage requirements. The 20 amp circuit breaker should have sufficient amperage capacity for the combined load of all the tank warmers. 3. Dedicated loads. While the National Electrical Code allows for multiple loads on a multi-branch circuit with ground fault interrupter protection, it is still recommended to use dedicated circuits for critical equipment such as tank warmers to ensure optimal performance and reliability. Let's look at an alternative option: dedicated 220 volts loads. If dedicated circuits are desired, a 220 volt circuit with a separate 2-pole circuit breaker without ground fault interrupter protection can be used. This option provides dedicated power to each tank warmer, eliminating the risk of other loads tripping the circuit. In conclusion, either option, using a ground fault interrupter 20 amps 2-pole circuit breaker for a multi-branch circuit or dedicated 220 volt circuit, can provide adequate protection for tank warmers in an aquaculture pavilion exposed to the elements. The choice between the two options depends on factors such as convenience, amperage requirements, and preference for dedicated circuits.